Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? Wow. I had a, I was like, and I don't know what happened. My goodness, it's hot. It's hot in the studio right now, but I was like, whoa, I breathed in all that hot air. You know when it's really hot in one area, you go, and you're like, that's what happened. But what up, y'all? I am KMP, the sexy ninja for a Paper Saber universe. This is the New World Podcast, brother. And we are going to be talking about my picks and predictions for NXT's Battleground. Now that I reviewed the show, I want to talk about the pay-per-view. Here we go. I want to start from the bottom to the top of my notes. Let's start with last man standing match, Dijak versus Ilya Dragunov. I think these two are just going to kick the shit out of each other, but I'm picking Ilya for the win just because I see Ilya gaining more of an advantage winning than I do Dijak. But Dijak could win just because Dijak is a scary... I like this character. I like the Sin City Dijak character a lot. And they had some weird vignette a couple weeks ago where Ilya goes back there and he's like, hey, you know, I can stand pain and this and that. And then there's this weird like back and forth like S&M type shit with them. I don't know. But what they did the night before, what they did this past week on NXT, I liked a lot because I'm like, okay, these two are going to beat the shit out of each other. Where we're going to go from there, I don't know. But I think this will be a big blow-off, you know, and because they did already have a match, and this is going to be, I'm picking Ilya Dragunov for the win. Ilya's just going to kick the shit out of Dijak. Dijak's going to kick the shit out of him, but it's going to be a good time. Next, the NXT Tag Team championship match. I was really looking at this, and I was like, man, I got to go with Gallus. You know, I think Joe Coffey's gonna get involved somehow. The Creed brothers. I feel like this is a last big hoorah for the Creed brothers, and hopefully, you know, they kind of get bumped up to the main roster at some point, maybe at SummerSlam or something like that. I just feel like it's time for the Diamond Mine in general, the whole shebang, to be moved up, you know, and have Gallus still be this undeniable force as the NXT Tag Team Champions, because I think there's still some room to grow, and I think the Creed brothers and Diamond Mine in general, I think they've hit the ceiling. Now they need to break the glass ceiling and go on to the main roster. NXT Heritage Cup, Noam Dar versus Dragon Lee. The rules, there's three rounds. I think there's 6-minute rounds, and I don't know. The Heritage Cup is an interesting type of match. But I think Noam Dar is going to win this match. You know, I know he lost on NXT this past week, but I just feel that Noam Dar is going to have the advantage over Dragon Lee in this type of match. So I think Noam Dar for the win. Supernova carrying on. And I would be really surprised if they did pull the trigger and let Dragon Lee win. So, Next bout, the NXT North American Championship match. Wesley versus Tyler Bate versus Joe Gacy. This pick here is not logical. It is a pick because I'm a fan of Tyler Bate. I would love for Tyler Bate to win that championship because when he lost to Braun Breaker a while back, I was crushed. I was like, fuck, man, Tyler Bate deserves more than losing the Braun Breaker, you know. And I think winning the North American Championship from Wesley and beating Joe Gacy is going to be huge for Tyler because he is a massive super talent that we need to strap a rocket on and shoot to the moon. And if I was picking this as somebody who's looking at this show from a booker standpoint, I would have Wesley retain. But as a fan, I'm picking Tyler Bate, and that's it. That's all, you know. So the NXT Women's Championship Tournament, the finals are here. We have Tiffany Stratton versus Lyra Valkyria. And I know I bitched about it before. I already got some people like, why didn't you give Tiffany and Lyra a chance and blah, blah. I'm like, because this doesn't scream, holy shit, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez screamed, now that's a championship match I want to see. Tiffany Stratton's good. Lyra Valkyria is good. But I don't see them as this level of champions. I see Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. But I could be wrong. I'm picking Tiffany Stratton in this match because Lyra, I like her, but I just don't see it. Tiffany, I can see it. It took me a while, after seeing her match with Roxanne Perez, I was like, and she had a bit of a wardrobe malfunction. So that stuff happens, but the screen went black. I was like, it was Tiffany. But I can see it. I can see Tiffany being a champion. Lyra, not so much. Maybe a few more. It's like Zoe Starks. She has that, Zoe Starks, attitude about her. Kind of a copy and paste type. We've seen this before. Tiffany, we've seen it before. But Tiffany carries herself like a champion. So her winning the championship, we'll see how her reign is. I still think Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez should be in this in the finals match. But and I was just talking to Big Daddy too today. I was like, man, Shawn Michaels has the weirdest and strangest creative type of booking. It's sometimes it makes sense, and other times I'm like, oh, okay, sure, I guess. And I think that's my biggest problem with NXT right now is just there's nothing, even going into the championship match right here, the NXT championship match, I'm like, I'm going into this pay-per-view just to see some good wrestling. I'm not going into this pay-per-view for storytelling here, because storytelling-wise, I feel like a lot of these, how we got to the Creed brothers and Gallus, and it was supposed to be D'Angelo and Stacks, but for some reason, D'Angelo's being held by cops. I think the best storyline going here is Dijak and Ilya Dragunov. Sure we could build up Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker, but I'm kind of done with Braun. Put him up in the main roster, man. I think my nail in the coffin with Braun is when he's attacked Frank and Tank on this past week's show, and I was like, what in the fuck are you doing? And the whole meaner than evil thing, and I'm not trying to say Braun's not talented. I'm not trying to put down Braun. I just don't care for the character. Maybe if we start maybe if we go in a different direction, keep the heel thing and call him Braun Steiner if you move him up to the main roster, not Braun Breaker. And the thing is too is it's with every story here, it's how we got with Noam Dar and Dragon Lee. It sort of just kind of just organically just happened, and it Nathan Frazier's still there. I think he's going to play a part in it. Wesley, Tyler Bate were friends, and Joe Gacy was off saying he won the championship. And, but Wesley and Tyler Bate were friends, and then Tyler's like, I want to go for the title. Wesley's like, why? I don't trust you no more. I was just like, okay. Then Tiffany Stratton and Lyra Valkyria, the tournament didn't go where I wanted it to go. And that's fine. We'll see. It's all about what happens after this. When the champion is crowned, what they do after with that championship. You either make it or break it. And it's best of luck to these two women. And I know these two are going to tear up the house. And that's why I'm saying I'm going into this for more of the wrestling than I am for more of the story. And if I'm looking at a story, it's Dijak and Ilya Dragunov. I just want to see these two collide, and that's the end of it. Now the championship match, Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker. I do not see them taking that championship off Carmelo Hayes anytime. I don't see it. It's just one of the things where, if there was a stipulation in this match, sure, giving them another steel cage match, even though that's already happened, giving them a dog collar match. I don't know, when this developed into I was like, oh, Carmelo's champion, yeah, Braun's going to go up that way. But then when Braun got back when Carmelo called out Braun, I was like, wait, what the fuck? No. There's more opportunity out there. Look at the Tyler Bates and the Wesleys and, like Ilya Dragunov. Like, there's so many different, Noam Dar release, Dragon Lee, Axum. Like, there's so many different possibilities for storytelling. Shit, Trick Williams. You could have had Trick Williams turn on you, and you could have had this match at Battleground between two best friends. No, we got Braun Breaker again. And he's meaner than evil, which is fucking dumb. Sorry, but like I said, at the end of the day, I'm here for the wrestling on this show. Storylines going into this was just, the build has just been and especially with this, like, yes, I'm happy that Carmelo's getting a homecoming welcome. I'm glad that he's getting the love that he's getting, but I don't know. We'll see. And these two did have a good match the last time. I'm hoping they just deliver a good match again at NXT Battleground. But there we go. My picks and predictions, and the predictions of where everything else is going. I think we'll get, at the end of the NXT Championship match, I think we'll get the next contender pop up. Carmelo Hayes and them stare down. NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton. I see these two. I see Cora Jade taking on Tiffany, or Roxanne Perez taking on Tiffany for that championship. NXT American Championship, Tyler Bate and Wesley can build a new rivalry between each other. Joe Gacy's just kind of there for me. NXT Heritage Cup, Dragon Lee, I don't see these two continuing on. Noam Dar and Nathan Frazier seems like the story that they're trying to go towards. NXT Championship, Gallus, I just want them to be that dominant NXT Tag Team Champions. Creed Brothers hopefully move on to the main roster. And Dijak and Ilya Dragunov, this should be the end, but I don't feel this will be the end. It's a last man standing match, but what's next? An I Quit match? So there we go. That's it. NXT Battleground 2023 picks and predictions. And once we get to the review for this show, and then I drop, we'll see how many I got right and how many I got wrong. So NXT Championship, Carmelo Hayes. NXT Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton. NXT North American Championship, Tyler Bate. NXT Heritage Noam Dar. NXT Tag Team Champion, Gallus. Last man standing match, Ilya Dragunov. Those are my picks. Here we go. Man, this is a fun game. I like playing just because it was like WrestleMania from night one. I think I got 2 wrong. The next night, got them all wrong. And, that's why I like going into these shows and having my check marks and wrongs and whatnot. So it is fun, too, being called out on it. But, there we go. Tell me what you think of my picks and predictions. What is your picks? What is your predictions? Who's gonna have the best match? I'm already calling it right now for the 2 best matches. Dijak and Ilya Dragunov, and the NXT North American Championship is going to be bangers. I think those are going to be the 2 big matches. Everything else is going to be good as well, but those 2 matches I feel like are going to be the highlights. So NXT Battleground this Sunday. Tell me what you think. Drop those comments below. Let's talk, ladies and gentlemen. We're professional wrestling fans here. And go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet logo. I want to see that at shows, New Japan, AEW. I want to see it everywhere. Keep rocking. Anything and everything supports, especially liking, subscribing, sharing with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and as always, the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Then look at Hayes flying through the door.